In chess, one of the most popular ways to play is the Catalan. In this video, I'm going to show you how to play it with the white pieces. So first question, what is the Catalan? Firstly, white goes pawn to d4. Let's say black gets their knight out. White plays pawn to c4, e6, and knight out. Black strikes in the center, doesn't matter because we're going to go g3. Bishop out, and both sides castle. So here we have it. 2 pawns in the middle. Knight, bishop, and you have already castled. So this is the Catalan setup. A lot of top players play like this. I'm going to show you many popular setups. So first up, what if black goes wrong? So let's say we take it from here, and maybe they get their knight out, but it blocks their own pawn. So we still do the same thing, castle, castle. Let's put the queen on c2. Typical move in the Catalan. You put your queen on the c file. If black plays b6, which is a bad move, you can take, and the queen is already attacking the knight. Black might get their pieces out, but you can see in this position, white is the one who's got the center. Now we go knight d2, another good typical move in the Catalan. The plan is to go e4. So black plays a6, let's go e4. This is really the dream setup. You've got 3 pawns in the center, and from this, you can build on your position. Let's say black takes, you can take back, take, now you've got your queen in the center. And let's discuss a few moves coming up. This rook can go to d1. Let me explain every arrow. This rook can go to d1. This bishop can come out to f4. This knight can come in the middle. You can go to e5, and then this bishop is open. This is the Catalan bishop. We want to activate it. By the way, another high-level idea is actually to play h4. Then you can go knight g5 or even bishop g5. A lot of top players are playing this move. They're just throwing in h4. Let's check out this beautiful opening trap in the Catalan. We have the same moves again. Same moves again, and here we go. Let's say black takes in the center. Now we go queen c2, attacking the pawn. Because when black plays like this, which is really one of the main ways to play, they take the pawn, but it's nothing to worry about in the Catalan because you're going to get it back. Queen c2, just like we saw before. Attacking the pawn, and bear in mind, it's also attacking h7. Let's say black defends it. Now we go a4. This is a move you want to bear in mind in the Catalan. This is where you undermine the black structure. They cannot play a6 because after capture, white's rook is now activated. So you may think black plays c6, which looks like a normal move, and here we go. This is the really cool, I think it's a brilliant, sneaky opening trap. Take, take, and now it looks like a6, the bishop can come out, black is good, black's a pawn up. But white is now completely winning because he's going to use this, he's going to use this at the same time. And the brilliant move is knight g5. And all of a sudden, believe it or not, you're going to lose a rook. You may be asking, well, what happens if you block? Queen takes h7, checkmate all of a sudden. The cool thing about this trap is all of white's moves are good moves anyway. You're putting your pieces on good squares and you get a chance to set up this trap. There's no good way to actually save the rook. You've got to stop checkmate. So you might play a move like g6, but then the rook drops. What a beautiful opening trap. What happens if black plays in a passive way? Let's say they get a triangle pawn center. We still go queen c2. They get the bishop out somewhere, here or here. Now we go knight d2 again, which we saw right at the beginning. Bishop out and e4, here we go again. 3 pawns in the center, e5, rook e1, let's go. Big position for white. Black goes knight d7, let's say, to defend the knight, and now here we go, we attack the knight. You can't go in the center because you lose a pawn. That is why we put the queen there. So going back 3 moves, let's go back here. The knight has to retreat, and now we can take, and let's go rook e1. There's a really cool setup coming up. Rook c8. Let's go queen a4, stopping this bishop coming out. And let's say black goes a6, b5, trying to kick the queen away. Now we go bishop f1. The bishop is actually doing nothing anymore. This is where you reroute the Catalan bishop. You actually come back to f1. You come back to starting square, come to d3 to attack h7. I've played this setup before and it is a very, very nice way to play. Let's say they attack the queen and you come back to its starting square. Bishop d3. Guarding this square, facing the black king. Knight b6, knight f1, and let's just get something rolling. h4, which I mentioned before, a lot of top players are just throwing this move in many positions. The knight can come out to g5. So can the bishop. Maybe you get your pawns rolling. g4, the knight can come out and start an attack. Nothing to worry about here. Bishop b4, attack the rook. Just go rook e2. And then we're good. We actually get the chance to start an attack. And the cool thing is this bishop controls all these entry squares. Next thing I want to talk about is when to trade the bishop for the knight. So here we go again. Let's say they take a6. Now we're getting to the main line. The point of a6 is black wants to go b5. So a key idea is you stop them with a4. Very important move which we saw in previous lines. But that's when black actually had a pawn already here. We are actually going to play a4 to stop black even getting a pawn there in the first place. Bishop out. If your opponent plays bishop out, then they really know what they're doing. It's the point of this is now you put this bishop on this diagonal. If we go back 2 moves, do you remember at the start I mentioned if black played knight out? This move is not great because it blocks in this pawn. Now we go queen c4 and white has a really nice position. Let me explain each arrow. This knight can come out to its normal square. This bishop can come out here or here. And it might take this, which I'm going to explain very soon. This rook can come to the open file. To the d file, I mean, facing the queen. And you might go e3. With this move, all the pawns are defending each other. If we go back a few moves, let's say black plays this really nice way to reroute this bishop. You take the pawn, bishop on this diagonal, and now let's go bishop out to g5. Rook here, knight here, e3. The pawns defend each other. Let's see what happens. Let's play a few more moves. Knight d2. Nice way to play the Catalan. The knights defend each other. The knight can come here, and then it can even come to c5. Let's say black plays rook c8. Maybe this pawn will come out later. Rook d1. a5. A good move for black, really controlling that square. Even the bishop can sit on that square. And now here we have the trade I was talking about. You might just deliberately give up the bishop for the knight. Why? Because after you take back, you can blunt this bishop with e3. Let me explain every arrow. Every pawn is on a dark square, restricting this. We have this idea. Knight can come to b3 to c5. The rook can come to the c file, putting pressure along with the queen on this file. Let's go for another setup. Let's say in this position black actually plays an early capture. Now this move, it doesn't actually matter because we're still going to go bishop g2, castle, and then keep playing. But if you are worried about this capture, practically speaking, you want to get your pawn back because you might feel uncomfortable being a pawn down. You go queen a4 check. This is one way out of it. Check. Let's say they block with a pawn. Or the knight or the bishop, doesn't matter, you take back. Let's say they attack you and you drop the queen back, and here we go again. Let me explain all the arrows. Bishop is going to come here because we have the Catalan bishop, very powerful. This knight can move out the way, so then it pressures c6. We saw this move a4, just to put a question to the black structure. White is going to castle and then put a rook probably on d1. And then this bishop can come out. Black takes, bishop out, knight c6. This is actually a totally different setup. Do you remember at the start I said black shouldn't be blocking the pawn in? But it's very different now because black's job now is to protect his pawn. So if you play against someone who plays this setup, they clearly know what they're doing. They know how to play against a Catalan. So you're playing a good player. Castle, rook b8. Now we go b5 to actually defend it. Now we play e3. This move again. The point is actually to go queen e2 this time to attack the pawn. Bishop out, queen e2, black plays b5, and here we go again. Wrong. I'm just joking, not here we go again. We can actually play b3. We are actually sacrificing a pawn. Black takes, take. Lots of arrows, let me explain. White is a pawn down, but I would definitely rather take white here because they've got a lot of options. So let me explain every arrow. Let me try to remember all of them. Yeah, I think I got it. The rook has the open a file. This bishop can come here, along with this knight, because we got control over the e5 square. When the knight goes to e5, this bishop is now activated. And when that happens, this rook can also go on the c-file. The c-file is open, even though white is down a pawn. And then the knight can come to d2. The knights normally defend each other in the Catalan, so there are lots of options for white. It does not matter white is down a pawn, because white is so active. So that is an intro to the Catalan. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like because it really does help out the channel. Consider subscribing. Press the bell so then you'll get notified when I release a new video. I'm trying to build a community here. So if you play any games in the Catalan, or the Caro-Kann, or the Sicilian, or the London, all these openings, then post your games below. I'll see what I can do and put these games into a video. It would be nice to analyze the viewers' games and give you guys feedback. By the way, if you guys want to stick around, I've got a couple of opening videos over here. How to play the Caro-Kann is here, and how to play the Sicilian is over here. Thanks for watching.